get judged at all?
Oh, absolutely. I'm from a very, how should I put it, racist state.
Right.
So a lot of people are super judgmental from where I'm from, and it's not so common to see an American Muslim here.
Welcome to share your story with Saima, and thank you so much for coming on the show at such short notice. Um, Actually, I've been approaching you because I saw your TikTok videos and I've noticed you're a revert. So I firstly want to say Ramadan Mubarak to you.
Ramadan
Um,
Mubarak.
Thank you. And I want to know a little bit about your childhood first. So if you would like to take the lead from there, please.
Sure. So I had just an average, super normal childhood. Nothing super crazy. My family is super outdoorsy, so I grew up outdoors around the neighborhood. I never had shoes on, which was super crazy of me. And I was a wild child. I was the crazy one in the family. But otherwise, that my family's typical, super normal. I had the most normal, typical childhood that you could ever have.
Bless you. So what made you start exploring into Islam?
So I have two best friends. So one of my friends, he's from Iraq, and then my other friend, she's from Somalia. So I met my friend from Somalia first. She's my bestest friend in the whole world, and she wore the headscarf, and so I was super curious because I grew up seeing Islam as super like misogynistic. It wasn't like a good religion. Like I saw it as like the evil religion. So I was like, why the heck is that thing on your head? And so I was really curious. So I asked her about it, and she explained a little bit to me. And she's like, but I don't know as much about Islam as my friend from Iraq does. And so I went to him and I was like, can I ask you some questions about Islam? And he's like, anything you want to know, I'll tell you, but you have to ask me because I won't tell you anything unless you ask me because I don't want people to see that I'm forcing like Islam on you. And so I was like, sure. And so um, I just started from there. I started asking him more and more questions, and then after we worked together. We worked together. I don't know if it's in the UK, but there's a company called TJ Maxx here, and so we worked together in retail. And so whenever we worked together, I would just ask him new questions, and it actually led to like meeting up outside of work, like going to a coffee shop and just talking. Like we even had lunch together just so we could like I could ask him questions because it was taking up all my work time.
Oh, wow. And then did you used to often talk about Islam and like Allah's the only one God, or did you used to talk about your religion too?
We talked about basically I would find like questions I had about Islam for him, and I would ask him. So basically, he's Iraqi, of course, so I'd also ask him about his culture because I like blew my mind because I'm white as can be, and so like culture is like I'm like what's culture? Like tell me about culture. And so I learned a lot about his culture, and then I learned about a lot about Islam. So I had to have questions for him if I wanted to talk to him about it, because he didn't want to just spew on about random stuff. Like he wanted me to have direct questions so that I could ask him about it,
So
and
what
that
kind
led to like
of how? What kind of questions did you want to ask him?
I asked him like, is Islam really sexist? Like, is Islam like what about like the terrorism? Oh, it says poor connection on my side now. I asked him like, oh, what about like the terrorism? Like, what about the 9/11 attacks? Like, what's that like to Islam? Like, who are the imams? Like, what is Jesus to Islam? Like, it was mainly questions like that, like really basic questions. Like, what proves that the Quran is correct? Like, what proves that Islam is a religion that everyone's supposed to be like? Is basically like I just want to know like the Quran front to back, but like wanted him to summarize it for me.
Wow. And did he summarize it for you?
He did. He did a really good job, actually. He, at the time, his English wasn't the best, so it was nice because of that, it made it easier for me to understand. Because he knew like really basic English, so I feel like that helped like keep it simple, so it wasn't too complicated.
Wow, so you were obviously very intrigued, but at this point,
Mhm.
do you feel that you wanted to come, like, revert to Islam at
Mhm.
all, or so you did already know, hence you were asking the questions, or was it just you were intrigued?
So it was more like I wanted to find like my own religion. So when I met them and I heard they're Muslim, I was like, okay, like I'm curious. Like let me just hear a little bit about this. And like after a month, because I studied Islam for 3 months before I decided to convert. And after like hearing the information from him, it just made me more curious. And I kind of wanted to hurry and revert after I decided like I liked Islam because tomorrow is not promised, and I knew that even when I was a Christian that tomorrow isn't promised. So if I feel because I felt that Islam was correct, I want to revert as fast as possible.
So what is your understanding of Islam?
Um, Whenever people ask me that, my understanding I always say is Islam really just means peace. Like Islam is all about peace, love, like be kind to others even if they're not kind to you, like forgiveness. Like from my understanding, Islam is like the religion of peace. It literally is the religion of peace. Like it is the most like kind like one of the pillars is literally charity. So if that doesn't show you like what Islam is about, then I don't know what else can. Like
Absolutely.
Islam is really just about giving others and being kind and loving and trying to basically just serve Allah. Like we're servants of Allah. It's basically just that. And Allah tells us to be kind and help others and forgive.
Wow, that's amazing. That's a beautiful understanding, mashallah. Um, Usually people revert to Islam because of a partner, because of marriage. Um, was this solely because of yourself that you wanted to revert?
It was for me and Allah.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, how did you feel? So, once you decided, right, okay, I am going to study Islam and I am choosing to come into Islam and revert, what were you
hmm
feeling?
Um, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was like, "What did I just do?" Like, I was like, I kind of was confused because the first year that I was Muslim, like, I wasn't dressing modest because it was a huge lifestyle change for me, and so I had to I slowly changed my lifestyle. So like, I went from like shorts to like capris, then I went from capris to uh, uh like the long skirts. So it took me a while to really like fully understand because I read about Islam, but like I didn't realize the lifestyle change it was going to be and like the change to like, my whole life. It wasn't just like a tiny couple little things I thought it was going to be. I didn't like realize how much I really was going to have to change. Like I thought like, oh, this is going to be super simple. Like I could change overnight, but it wasn't. So I feel like I was just like a little naive thinking that it was going to be like super easy when I first reverted. Uh, but now it's a piece of cake. Now it's just my life.
Wow, that's amazing. And how were your friends when you started to, or your family when you started to change your dress sense? How did they take it?
So my friend from Iraq, he and I are we're friends because he's the one who taught me about Islam. So they thought I was doing it for him. They're like, as you or I shouldn't say most, but I'm going to say some reverts will revert for men. And I wasn't doing it for him, so my parents automatically assumed like I was making all these changes for like a guy, and so he was just there, so they assumed it was him. And uh, they were really confused, especially because when I first reverted, I didn't tell my parents, so they're just like seeing me make all these changes, and they're super confused. My parents aren't like super strict, but I knew my mom wouldn't react, and she's raised Christian as well, so I knew that she wouldn't understand versus my dad, who I literally just met like 2 months ago. And yeah, my dad took it really well, actually. My dad, his exact words were, "We all have to find our own way of life, and if you believe that's your way, then that's fine." And my mom told me that she was disappointed. Um, she asked me not to wear the hijab by, she asked me not to wear the hijab for like the next couple of years, which I understand because this is still new and fresh to her. Um, I try to wear it whenever I'm going to be on like social media, especially my TikTok, because I have almost 60,000 followers and a lot of people are seeing me. But as I'm starting to do that, I'm realizing it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be because my family still sees my TikTok and they're like, "What the heck are you doing?"
Wow.
So it's complicated.
Of course, which is understanding, and you will have to take baby steps because it's not something that is very easy. Obviously, you have put a lot of thought into it, but it's getting everybody else around you to perhaps just accept it as your
And
future. So, how did you break it to your family?
slowly, really, really slowly. My mom, sorry, I still have dogs because I'm a revert, of course, but my mom, it took like, I told her over a course of like 3 months. So I was slowly just telling her information. And then my dad, like, I just told him like in one day. Like, I just had a really long conversation with my dad. And my dad's like, "I really don't care what you do as long as you are happy." Versus my mom, where my mom's like, "Christianity is the way of life. Like, you should be Christian." And she just said that she preferred for me to. She told me that like if I was going to go to the mosque and wear a hijab, she didn't care. She just doesn't want me to wear it full time.
Wow. And do you wear it full time, or is it you're taking slow steps at the moment?
I'm taking slow steps. I know there's no such thing, but I wear it part time. I wear it when I can, just to slowly get comfortable with it. Like I said on social media, I'll try to wear it just to get like slowly comfortable with it.
Of course, absolutely. Nobody should judge you for that. But Allah, at the end of the day, you are a revert, and it it will be slowly but surely, and that should be the intention, of course. And I think it's amazing with what you're doing because it's not easy. Someone like myself that's born a Muslim and you're reverting it is a big step for you. Um,
Mm,
so now that you are obviously fully, would you class yourself that you're fully Muslim, or
yes, I am a full Muslim. Yeah,
so
I
am
am
I,
Shahada and everything. Yeah,
that's amazing. So am I right to say you're fasting as well then?
I yes.
Wow. And so how do your family take that then? Because surely they'll see you're not eating during the day.
Um, this is my third Ramadan. So my first Ramadan, they're like super confused, but I had two Muslim friends, so they're like, "Oh, she's just doing it with them." And then this Ramadan, my mom has been like super, super understanding. Like she's like, "Oh, I'll make dinner tonight. Eat with us." Yeah, she's like, "Here's when I get off." So she's been actually super understanding about it.
That's really good. So it's again, like I said, it will be obviously slowly but surely.
Mm.
So in terms of your friends, so would you say you've got more friends that are Muslim then?
Um, on TikTok, I definitely do, but not in person. I really only have my two friends. Before that, I had a couple friends, but I really stopped hanging out with them because their terms of like hanging out were like partying, like doing drugs, drinking, and I'm obviously not gonna do that. So, and I'm again full time in college. I work part time, so I just don't really have time for hanging out with my friends.
Absolutely. No, that's understanding. So in terms of your daily life, do you pray 5 times a day as well then?
Yes, I do. I try to make time just for praying. I have a little journal that I write down all the prayer times in so that when I'm at work and I can't be on my phone, I can see what time they are.
So how did you learn how to pray 5 times a day?
Um, I learned it through YouTube actually. So I watched a YouTube video and I put my AirPods in and basically just followed it and made sure I could hear the words. I first learned Surah Al-Fatiha by myself through YouTube. I just was trying to repeat it. I did it in English and in Arabic. So I learned Surah Al-Fatiha and oh no, I can't remember the name. I learned a second Surah. It's translate to English the sincerity. But I learned that one as well, and then I learned how to pray. So I wanted to learn my 2 verses in the Quran first, and then I learned how to pray.
That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And just obviously you was a Christian before, and I've not studied Christianity, just a little bit in our in religious studies classes. Is Islam and Christianity similar?
Oh, absolutely. In many, many ways. Not only does the main difference, I should say, is only that Christianity believes that Jesus is God's son. That's the main difference, and that they believe that Jesus Christ is God, where we don't. And otherwise, that everything's extremely similar. I believe in certain parts of the Bible it talks about pork being dirty. It also talks about modesty. It talks about respect. It talks about Mary, except we say Miriam. And I believe I can't confirm this, but I on TikTok a couple of people were saying that the Bible also talks about the Prophet Muhammad being in the Bible. I have to confirm that. I got a Bible, so I can confirm it, but we'll see.
That's amazing. So, whilst you were studying Islam, and obviously you must have related Christianity and Islam together, did one point of you feel that you should just stick to Christianity at all because they're so similar?
No, because I believe that Christianity is shirk. Uh, I believe that there's only one God. It's sinful of me to continue to follow Christianity. Um, I believe that there's only one God, and that's who I should worship.
That's amazing. It's really nice to know, honestly, that you're so strong about your faith and Islam, of course, in Islam. So, what is the future for you? So, what are your future goals in terms of obviously being a revert?
Mecca, obviously, I really would love to go to Mecca soon. It's of course required for every Muslim to go to Mecca at some point. I would like to visit more than once if I can. I hope to wear the hijab full time. That's really my 2 goals in Islam. But that's really it for Islam. Of course, just hijab full time. I'm trying to focus on one step at a time. I'm sure once I do those, I'll have new steps. And of course, I always say that Islam is a lifetime full of knowledge. So I always hope to gain new knowledge about Islam.
Absolutely. Do you feel you get judged at all?
Oh, absolutely. I'm from a very, how should I put it, racist state. So a lot of people are super judgmental from where I'm from, and it's not so common to see an American Muslim here. And so a lot of times they're like, what are you doing? Like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? So I do have a lot of people say like, oh, return to Christianity, return to Christ. Christ is like our Lord and Savior. So I get a lot of that. That's another reason why I don't wear the hijab full time yet, because I'm very worried about what's going to happen when I do.
So do you feel quite unaccepted for your wishes, what you want?
Absolutely.
So what is your what do you comment back to these people that say such things?
Honestly, nothing. It doesn't matter to me. It's not important to me. We'll see what happens on the day of judgment, because it's not in my control what happens to them. So I have faith in Allah, and that's all that matters for me.
So when you obviously you've said you don't feel accepted, what are your feelings about that?
It is sad for me. But again, I just try to push through it. I just remember that I'm stronger than that. And again, it doesn't matter. It does overall make me sad. I can't control that it doesn't make me sad or not. But and I just wish things could be different. But I guess that's just the times we live in now.
So would you consider maybe moving out of where you currently are because you clearly don't feel accepted?
Um, no, because I grew up here.
Obviously, you did say you are studying as well. So, if you don't mind me asking, what is it that you're studying?
Like in college,
Yeah,
or I'm studying health science. So I plan to be an ultrasound technician and have my phlebotomy license.
that's amazing. And how is that going for you, as well as studying Islam as well? I mean, how are you able to balance the two?
It's definitely a full schedule, but I make my time, especially with Ramadan, it makes it a lot easier because I have like specifically set out time for uh like reading the Quran. Which I
Course.
after I pray, but 5 minutes isn't a whole lot of time, so
So, do you actually read the Quran in Arabic or is in English?
English. I want to, so of course English is my first language, that makes sense to me. So I'm trying to get it fully read in English once, and then I want to fully read it in. I've read it before, but of course it was in a 3 month span, so I read it really fast. And so I am trying to read it fully in English, and then I want to listen to it fully in Arabic while I go through the pages, so that like I know what I'm reading in Arabic and hearing in Arabic and know what that says.
Of course. And whilst you're reading the Quran in English, do you understand what it is you're reading? Because there are many Muslims, that's including myself. I've tried to read the Quran in English and I
Hmm.
found it quite difficult to understand what it is that I've just read. Hence, I just pray the Quran in Arabic. But the truth is, just like many Muslims out there, they don't understand what it is that's actually you are reading. So,
Yeah.
do you understand everything that you have read?
Uh, Luckily for me, I understand most of it because in the Quran that I have, there's like a down part of it that explains like in simpler words because the Quran can phrase things quite difficultly to understand. I feel like that's also like why there's like different sections about Islam because people are interpreting things differently and different scholars. And so there's like a downwards part of it where it explains everything in English again, just basically makes it simpler and easier to understand.
And where did you get this particular Quran from?
I have no idea. It was from my friend from Iraq's mom. She gave it to me when we were at the mosque. She gave me like a whole starter kit of everything that I needed.
That's amazing. Would you be able to, of course, later when you do get time, just to send pictures? Because after your video, surely there will be many Muslims that will
Sure.
be interested to obviously read what you're reading because it just helps. Because I'm a strong believer in people that revert to Islam have a better understanding and are a
Mm,
bit more able to talk about Islam than
yeah.
myself. And I know a lot about Islam, of course, but I do feel you lot are a little bit more educated on Islam,
Hmm.
and um, it's really interesting. So I would be interested to see the actual Quran that you are reading. Um, so there's no going back then for you.
No,
That's amazing.
I feel that Islam is the correct religion. The 1.3 billion Muslims in the world are growing every single day. There's reverts all over the world. If anything, our numbers are growing, and I feel like that's for a reason. Um, I feel that the Quran is, or the Quran, Islam is one of the newest religions, and that's for a reason. Um, Islam was also formed only 300 years after the Bible, if that doesn't show some proof to it. I always say that to Christians because they're always so surprised by that. And I feel like that just shows that it has just enough proof as the Bible. And if it's the newest, then it's obvious the newest thing that we have from God. So why wouldn't I follow that?
That's amazing, honestly. I want you to just this is the last thing, I promise. Um, just one advice to the viewers that will be watching or listening to this particular video. What advice would you give to reverts or Muslims in general?
Stay off TikTok. Honestly, I wouldn't say this to all Muslims, but if you have just reverted, stay away from all social media. Social media and media overall spread the most lies about Islam. Do your own research. Go visit a mosque. Research a scholar. Social media is full of lies about Islam, and that's where you're gonna find all the incorrect facts. And TikTok, there's so many people that think that they know the best, and that they think that like people who are commenting, they're literally, we call them haram police, because they automatically, like, you see a little strand in your hair and they freak out. So I always say, stay off TikTok. It's the worst influence for new Muslims. But that being said, uh, there is a lot of good people on there that, like, for example, if women reach out to me and are interested about Islam, then I always reply. Um, but as I said, you just gotta be, I would distance yourself from social media is my advice. And just try to make sure you find books. Don't always trust the internet. I personally made sure to find books about Islam because I felt like that's the best resource. And make your own opinion of it. Don't let others' opinions affect how you see Islam.